NAVI affair. They had the choice to play straight away or to have the break. Now, to have the break is actually, I can understand that. It makes a lot of sense. You know, you can decompress, you can actually eat, you can do a little bit of counter-strating, but to go straight into it, you're warmed on up, you're ready and raring, and so is the game.
JKS behind the sandbags. Jacob adds to that as well. Electronic down. Hello, Lias. He takes out Zeus inside of the site. At the point you're going to make is that if you're already coming out of the game, it's more than just warm-up in terms of muscle memory, in terms of feeling limber. It's the mental warm-up. It's the fact that the adrenaline's going. As soon as you let that mental side have any relaxation at all, you feel exhausted. If the series in between goes 3 maps, you sit here exhausted for twice as long. So I understand wanting to get things underway. Also means your stuff's already in the booth. You don't have to set up again later. Flamey in the booth, but in the house, it's got Simple to work with. They'll wrap around, make contact with each other, but no one else. That means they have to be in the back of the site. Lias and Gratisfaction looking solid. It's all right. They could be a little groggy. They did get up to go eat. There will be a little bit of tempo to shift back into for NAVI.
Yeah, there'll be a digestion period, that's for sure. Now,
interesting stat, just to point out really quickly because it matters, from Peter from HLTV. Renegades are 10 for 10 in converting the second round after pistols. However, NAVI are 7 for 12 in stealing the second round when losing the pistol.
Yeah, and we had that on Overpass where NAVI are actually, in the last 6 months, the best team in the world at converting that second round break. So right here, the force buy will come in. They're going to give that yet another crack. So let's see if Renegades will stand true to their 100% or if NAVI can finally break that streak. We do have a lot of notes to go off of the NAVI game that we did see on Inferno not that long ago, so we can bring up a lot of things there, especially on the CT side when they were blown out of sites they were just saving. I feel like they will have learned from that and they're going to be a little bit more aggressive this time round, but we have to wait and see how this one plays on in. Renegades, unorthodox approach coming in through the apps position with 4 players here. Electronic on the balcony. If they go dry and don't have too many tells, he could get wrecked.
Could. Electronic takes out Jacob, drops back down, CZ75. This is what we were talking about with NAVI. Simple couldn't collect, but he has enough damage that Flamey certainly can. That 10 for 10 record might be tarnished, and it might now be 8 for 13. NAVI, second round masters in this event. I think the food's settled.
Yeah, just 1 round. That's all they needed. Renegades, they're not necessarily...
Oh, Edward.
He's getting left hanging right now, and we're catching that for the video at home. Eventually got it in. Renegades aren't the team either to just rest on their laurels and give this up. They want to fight for control, and this goes back to Azza in the day. He was a player who liked to take the fight to the opponents. Well, now he's in-game leading. He has to make the call, and they're going to go for 4 deagles. CZ75 in the hands of Gratisfaction. A little bit of utility for Jacob and Grat as well.
Gratitat-tat.
So a bit of damage being done to Jacob early. He's down to 54 points of health. Use a nade to soften up anybody playing close towards Boiler. Right now, NAVI are postured towards the top of Banana. They have a pretty good hold with Flamey and Zeus right now. That could turn into a flank that Lias will have to caretaker over towards these stairs. Simple. Outside with the Org. A couple of warning shots will come on out here. Huge amount of damage done to anybody early. Renegades doing a good job about showing themselves and forcing out utility. But if you look at the guns from NAVI, based on that force buy, 2 AKs, 3 Orgs. Bloody Nora. Only the 3rd round in the game here, and that's already very scary.
The Acom. Gonna back away from quad. Deagle shots out. Flamey. Yes, sir. I thought he would get a little more than just the 2. Oh, still could be good. Grat's got the bomb and he's got an AUG, and there's only 1 player in the B site, so Zeus has pressure applied. He knows it. Flash over. He'll just keep creating distance until said time that he can see. They see him instead. Gets 1 and the low HP should confirm it. Bomb down. Good hold.
We were just noting off the last game that, well, I think we kind of found ourselves on the same page. Zeus playing the best, if not some of the best Counter-Strike that we've ever seen him play.
That might be good that there's not a break then.
Yeah.
Because if he's coming off a series like that, he definitely wants to keep going.
And confidence and momentum will be able to carry on through. We've got a replay right here now. Renegades will have to concede. So Flamey only gets 2 there. Maybe feels a little bit rubbed he didn't get more, but Zeus will mop up the mess, get the last 2 over towards the B side. That was 3 for him in the round because he had to win a duel with Lias down towards the bottom of Banana as well. Renegades will concede, unable to force this one back into a round-for-round battle. And now they're going to bring out the Glocks. So just to note, if you did miss the ENCE versus NAVI game, it was on this map. It was the pick of NAVI in the first series. Inferno, where Simple had to win an absolutely insane round to turn the tide of what was basically the entire best of 3, get them back into Inferno, and then carry them through with the momentum into Overpass. Flamey getting very aggressive down Banana here. Take down KdTV. So an interesting thing here is with this veto, Renegades have chosen to pick Inferno. The second map will be Mirage. So both of these first 2 maps are very good for Renegades. You can think to yourself, oh, why didn't they pick Mirage? You know, why didn't they pick this lane? Well, I think both these teams, map pools, they line up pretty nicely. Renegades obviously had a couple of blunders on Case recently. They don't play Overpass. NAVI do play Overpass. We just saw that where they took the series away from Ents. So, you know, the other 5, pretty even fielders. Renegades are just being dispatched off with ease. It's just JK to the left. He'll go down to Electronic. A nice clean round. All 5 stay alive for NAVI. And their money looking hot to trot after winning that force by round. Let's see Renegades' approach right now. One thing that Ents were able to do was get Banana time and time again off of a basic default. You know, having Sergey as that point man, lots of flashes coming over. They were winning that duel more often than not. And when they're able to get opening kills, especially to that B side, it just forced NAVI to save a lot. They weren't going for too many retakes. So let's see the tempo of this one.
This action very quick, it seems. But he holds to the cubby and potential for Molotovs to push him forward, segregate him from his teammates. That's happened for a moment, but only a moment. Lias will follow in tow. So 2 inside Banana. Both sides, to be fair. Third rotating over to B, Flamey down. Good thing they rotated early. Edwards there. And they can't go quickly on the back of that kill alone because of the utility that's still in place. They've, in fact, rotated what is now a 4th, although there's 3 alive, over. Simple started to get closer from CT. There's not a lot of pressure on Ace, so he knows he has time to rotate back, and that's what they're doing, thinking they may have fallen off this. Unfortunately, Navi's kind of gambling without any information, and they've left Zeus to hold solo once again. Very passive on A as well.
Yeah, this was a problem they had because they were leaning a lot of players towards that arch side when they're in these situations to be able to get to B as quickly as possible if the lone defender needed help. But at least this time round they have Edward postured a little bit more forward here. We can see standing behind the barrel on this quad side. Multi-kills definitely came up big for him on that Overpass game. We didn't mention his name too much, but he was influential, that's for sure. He's going to have to do a lot of work here as the bomb is actually on KdTV towards the arch side, so Simple gets to receive.
Find out from Edward, though, that he's got talent enough to shut them down.
It's the mid to B.
He's ready for it. His left B to hold them off. And he's not recovering position. He's ahead of it. Now he knows they're going to be walking in from Banana. It's caught crossing over as his feet were not planted firmly on the ground to fire the shot. He falls, but Electronic does not form one.
Those are the situations where previously Zeus would get one and be done or get none, you know, have a whiff. Here, in 2 key rounds, he's had some multi-kills against the mid to B, which has been instrumental in stifling Renegades early. That momentum from their series victory against Ents, we're only 5 rounds into this one. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but at least from the individuals it seems to be there, they seem to be on point. They don't need to warm into the series at all. They're already piping hot. Renegades are the ones who have to, first of all, demand respect.
Fresh off this map as well, let's not forget Simple's clutch. The fact that they were actually down in the first half for a period of time. They had a good lead. Renegades in a similar situation to what Ents found themselves in.
For the longest time, Renegades were a very slow starting team. You know, they weren't really winning pistols. They weren't getting into games. They were, you know, 5, 6, 7 rounds down. Then they started to get back into things. At this tournament, at least, at the major, I think you could maybe say the same. You have to go look at the details of their matches, but it felt like they weren't starting as slowly. It felt like they were getting into games quicker, and obviously that pistol round statistic that we were just talking about before, that really helps in that regard.
Maybe this is the litmus test now for Renegades, because Ents fell shy on Inferno. Can they beat them? Can they go one better and actually put another line in that argument? Four Augs and an AK on the CT side. 4 Deagles and a CZ on the Renegade side.
And 4 players at A for NAVI.
Zeus looks away just as they start out. But he'll cover off the arch instead, so he's still in position because they were slow to get there. Nice shot, KdTV. Edward steps back out for the bomb site, though. Only for 2. Looked away, didn't expect more. And Liaz is able to get the shot back into him.
They've got the bomb. They can go mid to B.
Oh, no. Electronic.
Wait, they know.
He left early, but Simple's still in the pit. This might catch them off. They might think they're completely clean. He knows where they're coming from. He still has the AUG. Takes down the second one that was picked up. Azza's got one to work with as well and just wants to get the bomb plant down with 10 seconds. You're right, they could have gone to B, but it would have been a tough ask because they didn't know what waited on the other side, and there wasn't a lot of time to mess with. The kill toward the hay bales forced them to go back, and Simple was alone.
Simple knows that he's stuck on the site here. He's called that across to Flamey. It's only going to be a matter of time before they close down on Azza's position. And there it is. Simple doing a lot of work right there. A round that looked dicey for a moment. And the 4-man ace stack works.
Part of me almost thinks that Simple would have wanted Electronic to go early because they had the double stack in pit, and then it does actually encourage them to come back toward him with such little time on the clock. They wanted that information as fast as possible.
And just to note for the viewer at home how that might play in, the normal hold towards B is Zeus and Flamey. With Zeus dying towards CT spawn and then Electronic and Edward falling but Simple not showing, maybe they thought that Simple was over towards the B bomb site with Flamey in that round because occasionally they'll play that 3-man pack locking down that sector of the map. So that is the information that could have come on in that lured them into a false sense of confidence because Renegades, all the teams right now, look at the tendencies as much as they can. Oh, this is an aggressive mid-play. This is different.
This is very different. It's different as well because the op's in the hands of Flamey so he can stay toward B. Instead of rotating Simple back and forth, they leave Flamey there to use it. Nice, Nate.
Yeah, just to note from that, they didn't actually push, but with the Molotov, then they smoked out their own Molotov, which allowed them to throw multiple deep HEs towards the T ramp, potentially taking advantage of their default. I think this is Renegades going to go into a B hit because we can see 2 players coming back through the chicken pit, 3 players already towards the top of Banana, but NAVI right now reading them like a book, 3 players over towards the B bomb site, and Zeus is going to get flashed out any second.
Flashed out. As you say, a lot of bullets on the first. Zeus somehow transfers to get Azza as well. Finds 2, and that's good enough in that situation. Simple, he's here now. He has rotated over this time. Flamey alongside him with the AWP at Coffins. Crypt Keeper. Simple gets removed spectacularly from Jacob. Flamey still waits though, and they've already crossed over. Great position to work from. Fire in. I'm surprised he does, because they could push the smoke and go against him with a flash, given that it is an op. They now know where it is. He's got some support.
Well, they're boosting over.
And they are going to boost over to check new box. No one there that he can see. It's not exactly clear. They're going to have to let that smoke fade just a little bit more to really confirm the position, or they're just going to go for it.
Flamey can smoke the bomb here.
Flash doesn't do anything to Jacob. Second one goes too deep as well. He's got full vision. He's got full vision. He sees them sticking out, so he sprays in. Right call. JKS still holding from water as well. Knows Electronics coming in from CT. They're not done there, though, because they still have to find Flamey, who could potentially trade. JKS keeps his head down. He just wants to buy time. Powerful angle that favors him, and he'll hold it and get the second for Renegades. He'll go down. Oh, he switched over just in time.
Yeah. That's, look, I guess that's a nice little segue right now. JKS winning that clutch situation. Going into this series, he is the 3rd highest rated player in the tournament. Only behind Simple #1 and Electronic at #2. You have Jacob as well. I think he's within the top 10 players in the tournament thus far. He's been having a massive impact for Renegades. He just seems to be a quiet achiever, Jacob, right? You know, he gets the job done. And it's not enough to break the money of NAVI, but it's enough to make them have to organize their weaponry, decide who's going to get what. Edward with a FAMAS. Simple will have the big green out. Electronic is on the M4. Zeus is on an AUG. I assume there's a gun on the ground for Flamey to pick on up, but we can't see that right now. Renegades, 4 AK-47s. Gratisfaction has his AWP in hand. So Deagle for Flamey. Doesn't actually have a rifle to work with this time round. We'll get this one back underway. Different approach from Renegades here. This might be more direct towards A. Normally they have 3 players towards the T-stairs / banana. This time they've got 3 going towards alt middle. So a change of pace as it looks like they want to go quite swiftly up middle. Simple's post up in banana. This could be great timing from Renegades, taking advantage of the 3-player lockdown on banana, and now they go quick.
Already around, but gets caught by Electronic. Repeat from Odo, and he holds off Arch twice. Not just the first kill, the second on the Azza. Wants to peek back out and get aggressive toward Covey. Meanwhile, Flamey, behind the smoke, has a Deagle to work with. There's 2 smokes down. One defensive, one offensive, if you want. Not to be confused with the 2019 social trend of being offended. As he tries to get a Deagle shot that does fade in favor Liaz. Couldn't totally isolate Pitt, but they've removed him anyways. He wanted to shuffle back out. It may not matter. There's still 3 inside of the site, and ultimately, Pitt's valuable, but the bomb has to go to the site to be planted, so.
Yeah, lots of time, though, and great patience from Renegades just posturing in case, because they knew that Flamey was towards the pit. They have taken him down, but I guess they didn't expect so many guns.
Shots, all you see. Easy to fire at, but they turn back and do the same to him. JKS getting Electronic on an immediate trade. 2 on 2, 3 kills all to Electronic. No one else contributing as of yet.
They have to stay sight right now. They don't know where Simple is in this whole flurry.
Oh, Electronic is going to, or excuse me, Grandfaction is going to slide out. That forces Simple off the angle. It means now he can hold, but he goes passive. Still knows they're going to be working from this direction, so that could still work in his favor. Smoke down, covers out JKS. All on Grat. Bomb ticking faster. Simple's gone. It might end with Electronic getting the only kills in the round because Zeus is left not sure what to do. That'll do indeed.
JKS is hidden.
Gratisfaction, but JKS does use the smoke to his advantage, and Zeus couldn't get to that in the end.
2 rounds, 2 situations where JKS has had to close out the 1vx situations. That one obviously felt a little bit easier to do, considering the context of the bomb ticking. But the fact that they got back in that round, that was a 3-on-5, right? Flamey overextended towards quad. I don't know if he was playing for information or what, but he gets taken down, and then the rest of the players from Renegades, they just posture. Grat, Liaz, JKS, they're in no rush, and then they pounce onto the side as a pack. Huge kills to crack it open, and then good work to play that post-plant situation without overextending, without giving too much away. This has forced NAVI down to just the pistols. And the first map that we saw today of NAVI, they only managed, I think it was 6 rounds on their CT side, and there were lots more saves. Here it already appears that they want to go for more rounds, but it hasn't been in the same flow. So as this half goes on, we'll see if there's anything changing with their approach, but still Zeus is on form. He's had some fantastic multi-kills here. He's going to go again. There is a flash, a smoke on Electronic, but Zeus is going to go drive. Not able to get anything done this time round. Damage done to Jacob, that's about it. Still have a P250 for Flamey and a CZ for Electronic, so they're not out of the woods just yet, are the Renegades?
Flamey. It's traded off immediately. Pistol's only able to do so much. Does get in with the AK. He'll fire at the smoke a few times. No one waiting on the back of it, trying to rat back in from Ruins. Address the same smoke to make things a little more complicated for Navi. I don't think it's complicated at all. I think the answer is pretty straightforward. Get out. There's not much to win here. Not much to lose, though, either, I suppose you could argue. So if by chance they can keep a few around the bomb, get a few guns down. A little more expensive. Jacob's going to run toward Banana. It's one Electronic strikes. Exactly that. There's one more. UMP now makes this more menacing.
That's the AWP down, though.
Yeah, it is. Got Electronic. Simple got the shot in return.
They
this
really
is down to just 2 alive. Bomb's still ticking. Simple's got Azza. He's got the AWP and gets away. That turned out... Oh, he didn't. He lost it. He lost it to the bomb, but still, that turns out very well, considering if they just walked away from it,
yeah,
they would have done no economic damage.
Good crack, all things considered, that's for sure. And buying back into this will be NAVI now. The scoreline 5-4 in favor of the Ukrainian/Russian side here. Renegades have mounted a little bit of a mini comeback. After winning pistol, they were broken, went down 5 rounds straight. Now they've posted 3 of their own. But you can see what that's meant. Gratisfaction doesn't have an AWP going into this round. He only has a Galil. They've gone with a lot of utility. It appears they've gone back to business as usual as well. Anza towards Banana, Liaz in tow. Gratisfaction throwing the supportive flashes and nades. Jacob and JKS making sure that they can clear out Boiler and Halls when the clock permits it. So top Banana has already been taken from Renegades. The next step is making sure that they can get Boiler and the Halls position. And it looks like they want to just go straight back towards A, but they have to deal with 3 players over towards this quad position. We've got Edward up close and personal, Electronic in the site, and then it's just Simple's position of being on the balcony watching Boiler. That could be the real spoiler here. Renegades are postured in alt mid. They've got Jacob and Boiler. They're ready to execute. This is going to come in any second.
Good position for Simple. Tries to just look downwards onto them, and that's how he feels about life, perhaps. Such disdain. And he's got time to get the gun back out. Smoke, they back off. I thought they might push through to try and take him down. Massive
Big gap.
Massive. Bigger gap in that smoke than in Madonna's teeth. Spanish faction goes the other way instead. He'll get caught out for it. Bomb down in the arch. Good recovery to get electronic, but that's when Zeus strikes. Bomb down yet again, and Simple. He just came back around and finished what he started.
So the closeness of that eco round previously, with all the guns being taken away and Jacob being the only member to survive, now we're really seeing what that means for Renegade's economy. The most money on the board is JKS with 3350. Everybody else around that mid 2K mark. So they're just going to go for a light pistol upgrade and see if they can do the same, see if they can keep NAVI honest. Take away a couple of guns, get a plant. The best you can hope for in this situation. So pause is going to come to an end. You can see the frags on the screen. Electronic towards the top. Flamey playing quite a good game at this point. 9 for him, 9 for Zeus. Edward down there on 5. You know, there's other things you could see that was a little bit of a struggle street for Azza with 2 kills to his name, but they still managed 4 rounds on the board, and we're only 10 rounds into things. So NAVI are already poised to get more rounds in this second bout of Inferno today than what they did in the previous piece. They're on board with Simple here as they've gone 3 towards top Banana. They're just going to aggressively deploy their utility to make sure Renegades can't take Banana for free this time around. NAVI are going to posture towards the top barrel position, and they're going to hold on to it. There's not really too much necessity for them to fall back. They can keep 1 player spotting, and that will be Zeus. Jump spot, jiggle peek. As Renegades want to go and try and find some picks towards A. The player under the porch here of Edward. He has to be careful.
Be careful. Right side of the pillar. That'll do. Simple should collect the hat trick while Edward gets 2. It's a full house between them. And 7-4 for NAVI as a result. Slower pace, but now we get back into some straight gunfire. See how that works out as Liaz has 4,700. There will be no up on the T side. Not the worst thing in the world on Inferno. There's not one on the CT side either, though. I'm
expecting a really fast play from Renegades here. They've been getting banana control relatively easily. And they do have pocket strats that they can pull out if they need to, but no, it's just the same as usual. This time they're going to push into banana. They're going to have to drop their own smoke to extinguish the Molotovs of Na'Vi. Gratz is eventually going to post it on out. Now the flash can come over so he can push forward. Nade's going to land on his head. More grenade damage onto Liaz as well. Pushing forward regardless. Flamey, he's forward. He gets the first. He gets the second. Flamey wrecking the banana take. And now Azza, he's left behind the smoke. Not a hope in hell. As everybody has dropped on out of B. But look how much pressure's applied to A, actually. Jacob's already pushing up quad side.
This could be massive for them. Rotate in. Electronic doesn't even realize it. He had no clue at all. He thought he was clean. He just ran out, didn't even have his crosshair anywhere near there. That causes enough commotion to catch off Edward down below, but Flamey does at least give an argument to this. He's got 3. And Simple's jumping up. He knows that it's toward depot because he's cleared everywhere else. Oh, Azza got the first, nearly got back in to get a headshot behind the barrels, but it's now 8-4. Na'Vi again controlling the situation. Bomb plant down. 3 in a row. So they'll be in a position where they could potentially buy off of this. It's going to be tight, and they might concede and hold pistols because Azza's already bought a CZ75.
Well, you can definitely tell that it was an in-game leader in that position, right? Sometimes you'll see a player in a clutch scenario where it's a 1-on-3 situation, and instead of going to get the bomb down to give your team a little bit extra
they try
cash,
and go crazy.
Yeah, they try and win that clutch situation, right? Well, Azza, he's playing for the future rounds. He knows that that's in the back of his head, that he has to call a strat in the next, so get that bomb down, get the 40-second clock started, and give yourself a chance from there. But it will be the pistol upgrade because Renegades will have a lot of money. Next round's going to be a fast beat. They're coming quick.
Flamey just waiting it out. Can't do anything behind the sandbags. You said it, fast play from Renegades.
They're all low.
But they are extremely low. And there's only 2 left, and they're already pushing down from Banana because 2 kills to Edward at the bottom side of it. It's going to make a massive problem for Liaz, who's removed by a grenade. And I think the round will be removed. Another bomb plant at least. So 4+ bonus this time. Smokes off Ruins. He'll give it a crack because why not at this point in time? But the smoke fading. Tags on Simple.
Making it hard.
It certainly is. And they're taking their time. He's got Simple down. He couldn't quite snap over to find Edward. They timed it. They peeked together, and Simple knew they had to. So 9th round at least for the CT side.
Gratisfaction won that 1v3 yesterday on Mirage. It's a very big round in the context of that series. Low HP there, not able to get it done, but with the plant, with the competitive nature of that round. I thought he was going to get an AWP out, but he's only gone for the AK-47 again, so maybe something decided from Azza in the previous of what they were going to run on the following gun round. Simple has an AK, so does Edward. 3 AUGs in play, so there are 3 scopes on the board, but no AWPs, no big greens coming out here. Once again, default banana take on the Renegades.
Azza wants to work around and take the fight despite the utility going
Look
down.
at the nades.
He is already on 33 HP.
Renegades picked this map, and when you think about what maps are in their disposal in the veto, right? Renegades getting rid of Overpass, Cage going out from the side of NAVI. They do play Nuke, but it's not something that they, pick to play very often. Mirage, Train, Inferno, obviously in their Dust too. We saw them have a really good performance on that yesterday. So for them to pick Inferno and know that they could get Mirage either as a 3rd map or later down the piece, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it also feels like in this situation, all 3 maps are good for both teams.
Just biding his time. He's got the reverse angle toward the door. Didn't actually get the kill. He thought he had. He looked away too soon. Nade will confirm it. Yeah, he knows that. Oh, where did it go? Oh, wow. JKS got thrown up away. Doesn't matter because Simple is always close by. Lias and Gratisfaction find out the hard way. And he may get another. He's not quite going to because it's behind the pillar. JKS seems to be a problem for him this round because he's the one that got away and then came all the way around to haunt him in the end. A 10-4, no less, as Navi will get the defuse again. So it's now 1-5, 3-5 is the way that breakdown of the score goes.
So Renegades, if they get this in the pistol, they'll keep that little streak alive, that's for sure. Tonight we were talking about Jacob being one of the highest rated players in the tournament thus far, definitely within the top 10 if I was reading rightly earlier. He's only sitting there on 5 kills at the moment, but he is a default player over towards the boiler and hold position, bit of a tempo setter, so he hasn't been in a lot of the action towards this banana piece, at least off the bat. Renegade's going to just rinse and repeat, do the same, and hope this time they can come out on top of the trades and damage early. Same volley, grenades and banana, and Liaz will take a chunk of damage yet again. It's just absolute back and forth nature here, and it seems like with the damage, Flash is going to come over. Flamey's going to get a chance to push.
Flamey, great push as well. Second, as Lias falls, he'll back off. No need to pursue the 3rd. They can be, I'm sure, very content.
They're really settled in, aren't they?
Well, this goes to show what you were saying. Stay warmed up. Stay focused. They could cruise to a grand final in one day, from quarters to semis, and then see you tomorrow. Bob's your relative.
Yeah, Jacob is currently 7th in the tournament, obviously not taking in the stat lines of this game thus far, yeah. Above him is Ethan, Nico, Crims, and then it goes JKS, Electronic and Simple. So I was reading rightly. They need him to show up, especially in this second half, as it's looking likely that Renegades will go down 11-4 to Navi.
All right, yep, that's fine. Just style on them.
Cool, man.
Steps out, Simple finds 2 more. Azza gets his head removed as well by Zeus, who continues to have fine form. 11-4. And just to note, Zeus on that form has 12 kills. Simple has 18. Everyone's in double digits at 12 or higher. On the other side, only 2 reach double digits at 10, and that's JKS and Lias.
Yeah, so for Renegades, feels like for the longest time they were quite a CT-heavy side. When we talk about the game that they were able to take off Astralis at the Major, that was all done through a massive haul of the CT side. Obviously, they had overtime to go through. But that's a positive sign for potentially a close series, but it has to start with the pistol round, and we'll get that Counter-Strike cliche out the way very quickly. If you look at the history of this Renegades team together, they haven't had Liaz and Gratisfaction in the roster for the longest of times. It's been a decent chunk now, but they've already played 115 maps together, sorry, not 155. They have 74 wins to 41 losses. That's including LAN and online. And for their Inferno games, it's their most played map. They played it 31 times, 120, lost 11. Their pistol round win percentage is pretty abysmal at 41.9%. So here, let's see if they can get anything going. And their share of rounds is actually pretty 50-50 overall.
Simple already behind the logs. He might get a chance to get in on that. Oh, wide peek. Look to the bottom of Banana. Now he'll reveal that he is there as he and Electronic want to chase them back to the site.
Three players on this B bomb site right now for Renegades, so if it is just a hit onto this site, Offzeus's smoke towards CT spawn. They're sitting in a pretty decent position. Flamey over towards Halls right now. I'm not sure how they want to use him, but it feels like they're trying to bait out something from Renegades here. They're trying to make them hold as many players there for as long as they can. Just shooting some bullets, making a couple of footsteps, and now they're going to corral themselves back down towards middle. And that's going to be Gratisfaction in the pit alongside Liaz. This is the two new additions, the youngsters. They have to go big right now.
Electronic already wrapping in. Split.
They're going to go through this smoke.
They might. With 3 on B, even if they go CT, it's going to be a huge problem for them. And it looks like that's what they want to do. Bomb still holding at the mid wall because it waits for the call.
This is odd right now. This is a very strange play.
I don't mind it because there's a small detail in the fact that Electronic was searching to see if anyone had left the B side. He didn't get any information, so stick with the time. 24 seconds, get to A. Liaz starts it off, but now it's just one man to hold, and it is he. Then has to step back out, and Zeus again finds him. They now know the site's clear.
Now Renegades with Jacob very low from that early exchange, and Banana 21 points of health to his name. Absolutely no way back into this round. They have to come up middle, all three of them. The defuse kit is in play in Az's hands, but over towards the window. There's Edward.
So fast. So fast. Electronic is trying to find the angle. Edward just says, I'll come back around and take that one too. Thank you very much. And it's Jacob just kind of holding his own.
Trying to save.
Got a defuse kit in armor.
He still has a 100 armor there, so he can upgrade the head armor cheaper, and he can hold on to that defuse kit. But he might get found here.
I don't think he's going to. Simple's not going to go that far. He would check ruins before he goes that way. The armor went to 99, Chad.
Damn.
Bomb should not do damage to armor.
Damn.
I had that. Henry and I theorized about this. It would be such a minuscule change, I think, that
people wouldn't even really
notice.
notice.
Welcome. Yeah, I mean, it's going to save you money, not cost you money. So
Sure.
It's actually strengthening the economy.
Yeah, it's going to be really frustrating for Jacob in that situation. You can see the scores. Well, no, you can't. You guys can see the tactical pause. We can see the scores.
Scores on the doors.
But the tactical pause right now is a big choice for Renegades, because if they choose to force by right now and fight for the economy, that's basically the map if they lose. So right now, Kassad and Azza will be talking through the options. Do we take the conservative round? Do we take the save and then go and have to fight back round after round and hope we can get a string together, a slew, as it were? Or do we force buy? Do we give it our all right now and potentially lose this map 16-4? And it looks like they're going to go for the force buy option. 2 UMPs, 5.7, 2 CZ75s. This one has a lot of importance for the Renegades right now. This could be a blowout to kick things off, and NAVI getting the opportunity to come straight into this one. Maybe the new play if we ever have quarterfinals on the same as the semis ever again.
Yeah, could be the way to do it. That is lovely. Sees it back, gets a fist. Electronic finds JKS as well, so 3 kills over 3 players. Flamey and Zeus, the only 2 not to find them. Maybe their turn. Zeus next in line. No, didn't quite go the way to plan. That will get away from it, but unfortunately for him, there's a lot more work to do. Trying to go for Flamey, who shuts him down. And Jacob is up well and removed from the picture. Back around with that 99 armor. That's meant his head was exposed, and Electronic removes it from him, 13-4.
So I suppose to back that up of why I'm saying that decision right there is basically the game, is because now Renegades realistically have to save. They could go for another force buy, but they're going up against it. They don't have anything to work with by any means, right? They have 2,400. So they will take the save right now. So that pretty much guarantees 14 for NAVI. Renegades then have to battle all the way back 10 rounds straight just to tie things up at 14-14. Or they'd have to get 12 rounds out of what's remaining to even have a chance in this game, right? So, well, that would be to win it. But it just seems like a very unlikely situation. If Fluff will come over the middle, Simple's going to deal with what he can. Eventually he'll be taken down by JKS, who bounces back. Problem is, for Renegades, if it is a 16-4, they haven't had any time to warm into this game where NAVI is still hot from their last. So I'm not saying that that's huge positive as Flamey takes down 3 big scouts. Edward wants the last one.
I like how the Chinese crowd doesn't get to see as many big events.
Sure.
That was against Pistols, okay. But it was still impressive spray transfer, and they cheer for the skill, just the skill aspect.
Yeah.
Not even necessarily the impact. Sometimes people are too cool on Reddit that say, oh, it didn't matter. It was against Nico, man. Anyone could do that. Well, didn't see you do it, first off. And second off, it's still nice to see the mechanics that are really good.
That was a good
So
impression.
I appreciate that they, thank you.
You been working on that one?
No, actually, I just pulled that one out right now. I just thought if I talked as slowly as possible, I would echo the IQ level of those people.
Sure,
posting.
but you still managed to put through a coherent sentence, so that's where you messed on up.
Fair enough. But yeah, it's nice to see them applaud the skill.
Sure. Electronic's going to get burnt all the way down here, and we've seen him playing in smokes time and time again. This time he's actually going to get out of dodge, not going to hang around to potentially have his life taken away with him by a stray bullet. Jacob will get down to the tree position, where there is no longer a tree.
Right? What's the only position that, well, okay, that's alive too, because there's still a tree towards CT here.
True.
I was going to say tree on Cash, but Cash is also removed from the pool, so
There used to
I was
be
wrong twice.
Used to be a tree in the pit on Inferno and Source that you could actually boost on with, like, I think you need like 3 or 4 players.
Yeah, I can't remember all the Source stuff. I didn't play
super
it enough.
geeky. So by having Jacob had pushed all the way down and cleared out Banana, that means Renegades can lean 4 players over towards the A bomb site. They have 2 on the arch side. They have 1 in the pit and 1 quad. But the late initiation with the Molotov pumping up Banana right now is going to force Jacob to drop on back. He doesn't have any grenades to defend with, so he has to play passive towards the Orange's position. That's going to leave JKS and Limbo on the highway or speedway position to have to rotate between Azza and Jacob. And now as the clock is on 30 seconds, the bomb is down towards the bottom of Banana, and it feels that they want to throw more nades towards the top. But they still have 2 players positioned in Boiler and Hall, so it either could be an A fake here to draw the rotate. No, it's going to be A. The bomb is now coming back down. There's 24 seconds left on the clock. It has to be the A bomb side, but Renegades have stacked 3 towards B.
Rats. At least gets Edward. That'll make things much easier. It's 17 seconds. Bomb still toward the Boiler doorway. It's a long passage. In fact, I take it back. It's topside mid. Otherwise, Grat would have had the angle. Still does hit Zeus. Nearly switched over, but Simple and Flamey got the kills. And you're right. There's just enough time to get on the plant.
Does he have it?
I think he did. I think just barely did. He went in to save himself. Didn't want to stay default because there could have been a potential someone was behind them at middle, just as we saw in the last clutch from Simple. But he almost cost him the ability to even get the bomb down.
Renegades are now in a similar position to what we saw NAVI in their CT side, like having to retake. They have no kit. There's no door back in, and they're going to save. They're conceding 15 without a fight at all. This is a blowout of a game right here. NAVI are showing they're a top 3 team.
Yeah, this is more like it. I've been impressed this event with NAVI. Slow start, mind you. Remember,
always a slow start.
It's like their thing, right? Fnatic used to be a bit like that too. Even in their dominant era, they were really slow in group stages. So the ability to close this out now at 15-4. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, I was just going to say, it's like maybe the fire in the belly, right? Because we know that they're quite a fiery team. Maybe they need to, have the wake-up call of a loss.
I was considering that. Like, they almost have to be a little angry to play.
Yeah.
So in the first game, if they're too calm and they're not yelling at each other, maybe they just don't rise to the occasion. They need to get a little pissed off first.
Which is just a wild thing to think about, but it doesn't really matter because it's definitely working now. Think about the string of games.
That's where Kane needs to, just abuse them before the game. You guys suck. You're not going to win this. I need better. And then they just get mad from that, and then they win everything.
He doesn't really look like the type of guy that I'd be scared of being yelled at by.
Nah.
Maybe because it would be in Ukrainian, then I would be a bit scared because I wouldn't know what he's saying. But if it was a native.
Jacob does take down Zeus. All the way back inside of the site.
All right, so if we look at one positive, they do have the opening in this situation. Azur's going to go for a second. He is going to get it done, but he could be swung on from, I was going to say Boiler, but mid's actually going to be the damage. He hung around a little bit too long. Edward will trade that one out. Now it is a 4v3 situation. Still heaps of time to work with. They have 2 towards B and 2 towards A, but still a very big avenue for NAVI to get back into this round. The bomb is in limbo. It can play between both bomb sites depending on how the kills go. So maybe they're just going to let Flamey and Edward search while he waits.
Good nade.
2
HP. I thought it had him.
It's pulled the rotation though. It's only left 1 player towards the back of the B bomb site.
Bombs here as well, but it's 2-on-1, so it's still a winnable situation for the defender. I thought maybe they'd leave Flamey, there you go, to try and lurk back and cut rotations, but he almost needs to be in a position to support his teammate. He's not. He's still in middle. He is still trying to cut rotations, but he's let one through, and now it's a 2-on-1 favoring the CTs. This should be Renegades picking up the round. Bomb down. That'll confirm it. And Flamey won't even bother going for it. He'll just stay over here with his 10K and his AUG.
He could try and do damage. You know, he could try and push out and go for as many kills as he could to take them away, but now that the time's ticking on down, it doesn't matter if he dies after the time. You're right, he has 10 plus K. He's just seeing if anybody wants to push into his position. And Renegades, they realize if they lose guns, they're not going to be able to have an appropriate buy, because now it's do or die time, round after round. That noise, that gong that sounds, you're going to have to hear that for another 10 rounds straight if you want Renegades to be taking this one to overtime. And right now it feels like an inevitability until NAVI close this situation out. They have so many rounds to work with. They can do whatever they want. They can do super aggressive rounds. They can rush. They can take as many risks as they want. They don't need to play conservative by any means. There's so much wiggle room for them to work with right now. And I really like it when teams have this much space to do things a little bit more risky. You know, to go for a couple more balls to the wall type plays, because you're not giving away a lot. That nade, 1 second earlier, that could have landed on both of them. And now JKS, he has to deliver. And he won't.
Zeus will. He'll continue to deliver. Jacob overstepping perhaps, does win the duel. No one else inside of the smoke to punish him for it, so he'll get away, but 12 HP. It's going to make things a little bit awkward.
And they've rotated a player over to kind of bail him out. But all the movement early just works in the favor of NAVI here. They still have 1 minute and 10 seconds left on the clock. That applies pressure on these last two A defenders, which is going to be Liaz over towards Graveyard and Azure over towards the Arch position. I think Renegades have to take a bit of a gamble here if they want to stay in this round. They have to rely on their individuals to multi-frag, but so far in this game, they've been getting nothing done. And now Liaz, he has 3 to deal with.
When does he peek? When does he try and go on this? Simple, he sees him up above. Likewise, he's spotted in return, smokes himself off, and Simple will take the initiative to get away. There's no need to stay up there. He left for dead. Simple gets Azza as a result. He got him as well. He got Liaz. Oh. On top of the box. He might have done it. Tronic closes Gratisfaction. Game done in 1 shot. Further. And they're 1 map up, winning 3 maps in a row in both series combined. Renegades need to respond. What a performance.
Well, the first series today